Today I'm with something really special. This is a Porsche 911 Restomod, and it's probably the most insane one I have ever seen. Now, before you leave me loads and loads of comments about whether you like it, whether you don't like it, make sure you hang on until I show you that interior, because that is something very, very special. So this isn't just any Porsche 911. This is a Porsche 964 Restomod. Now, you may have seen different cars like this all over the world popping up, but this one is something really, really special in my opinion. Yes, the colour may not be your exact cup of tea, but the owner of this Jack actually did this as a birthday present for his wife. Now, I wish my wife would get me a birthday present like a car, but you know, probably all blokes do. Now, the key thing about this is that the whole car has been designed from scratch. And everything is 3D printed. So there's over 4,500 hours of 3D printing in the body kit alone. But with the onset of 3D printing and the fact you can design custom stuff very quickly, it means we're probably going to see a lot more cars like this coming out into the future, where you can do a full bespoke design in a timely manner. Now, as you notice, it has a full set of over fenders, in my head a little bit like the Liberty Walk or the RWB. But the key thing here is they're over fenders, but they do not have all the bolts showing. So they've actually bonded them on to give it a slick design, yet looking modern and different. And if you can see, the wheels alone are fully bespoke wheels with center bolts. Now, this is obviously seen more heavily in the race world, but it's a design they wanted to go with aesthetically, but it's classic yet modern. The whole car is based around that. You've got the F-body classic 911 styling mixed with the 991 styling, as I'll show you in the back later on. Now, if you haven't noticed, the headlights are completely different. So these lights have been designed, printed, and then they've been molded and produced. And there was lots and lots of variants of these lights that they went through different iterations until they got to the final thing, which is here. Now, the beautiful thing is that they have inset LEDs in the back, so they glow through the lights, but they also look very Porsche F-body-esque in the front here. If you notice, these are the original 964 gutters. A lot of companies out there have been removing the gutters completely to make the car look more and more modern, but they've taken the choice to have that mix between modern and old classic. Now, moving around the rear, this is where I said about the Porsche 991-esque, is that they have the slatted rear, and these actually light up red when you put the brakes on. And then there's this beautiful glowing aesthetic right here, which is 1/150 Spica, if I pronounce it correctly. Spica is actually one of the brightest stars in the night sky. And then the signature of Jack, who's actually been designing and developing it for his wife. But it was a whole family exercise. So all the kids, everyone were involved in this beautiful car and the design and development. And I've actually been here this weekend on the launch of this vehicle and seen the videos and the passion, the love that's gone into this build, with the family being involved every step of the way, making lots of changes. It went from a simple Restomod to let's redesign everything and make something really, really special, which I expect the budget probably doubled. You can't see in this light, but the paint is not satin and it's not metallic. It's a very specialist base paint that actually has glass in it. So if you get this in the right sunlight, you get speckles of what would be stars coming through with the paint. And it's not necessarily consistent over the whole car. So there's changes in different parts of the car with different volumes of glass to really emulate the night sky, which is quite something, to be perfectly honest. Moving on to the rear lights. Now, in the Porsche Restomod world, the rear lights are a massive deal. And once again, these have been done similar to the front lights. So completely molded, bespoke, inlaid LED, in which they have their running lights. They then have indicators, brake lights, everything in here. And then they have a little hidden reversing camera up there. So you can actually see where you're going in this, because with this rear end, you don't really want to be reversing into anything. They then also have the reversing sensor set in and their fog lights either side. But as you've noticed under here, there's no exhaust pipes. So I'll probably lose most of you right now, because this is actually fully electric. The car is running a full bolt-in Fellten plug-and-play Porsche kit, taking it from 276 brake horsepower to some 450 brake horsepower, from 310 Nm of torque to 600 Nm of torque, delivered through a Tesla drivetrain with fully bespoke 62 kilowatt hours of battery. Now what they've done is they've kept the original fuel filler cap here, but they've embedded the CCS Type 2 rapid charging port, as you can see. This will allow them to charge at 70 kilowatts an hour to get you back on the road pretty damn quick if you do take this on a road trip. But in my opinion, this car is a work of art. I think it's time we looked at the interior. In here, I don't think you'd feel out of place as if you were in a brand new Porsche 911. The interior is absolutely flawless. Now, as I said, it's a classic 964 with modern twists. But as you'll see, the subtle bits in this interior are based off the more modern Porsches, like the shifter as such. This is actually a Porsche 992 shifter, canvas control shifter shipped with the Fellten kit, that they've embedded and inlaid with this copper paint, which looks absolutely phenomenal. Now, I am not the right person to do car reviews. As you know, it's not my thing, but I had to do something on this car because it is just so perfect, so bespoke, and so pristine. I couldn't miss up the opportunity whilst in Poland to have a chat with the car, because no one's going to get this opportunity again. This car is now going to go and sit and be used and cherished as a gift. So you have this Zyska inlay here with the star cluster, which it's based in. You obviously have your Apple CarPlay system. You have the Fellten gauges, but these are not the original Fellten gauges on any stretch of the imagination. These have been completely taken apart, completely rebuilt with fully bespoke faces on them. Now, when they did the unveiling, I saw all the different designs they'd done, and I think they'd gone through about a dozen iterations of these gauges to get to something that they were really, really happy with the backlit. The center gauge is actually floating in midair. So you have your kilowatts in the center with your indicators and your headlights information. To the right, you have your range prediction and what mode you're in, whether you're in chill, sport, drive, neutral, reverse, and your kilometers of range you have left. You then have your battery data, which will have your 12-volt system and the voltage of the EV battery. Then you have your temperature on this side for your motor, inverter, and your battery pack. So this is actually Jack, the owner of the car, the man behind it that we've been working with for the last 12 months, along with some other really key special people that have been involved in this project, like Frederick Stinker, hopefully I haven't said his name wrong, Car 911, and Old Custom Garage that were behind building this car. Now this is really special. This is the key to the car. So you have your lock and unlock, but there's a coil in here, like you get with your phone. And when you set your car on the dashboard in the right place, the lights come on. Now that's pretty damn cool. And because it's magnetic, it won't fall off when you're driving like an absolute loon. Now, the steering wheel alone is an absolute piece of art with the inlaid copper all around it, but you also have a very high level audio system fitted to this car, which sounds absolutely amazing. And because you've got no engine noise, you can have phenomenal audio and actually hear it without that rattly old Porsche engine in the back, which I know some of you will hate me saying that, but this really does bode well for an electric powertrain. You have your full HVAC control system here with your backlit LED panel. You have your mode selection here where you can actually press this to change between sections on the gauge, and you can hold it down and change between modes. You also have your electric park brake. There's just so many features in this car, and I am not doing it justice. I'm hoping the B-roll is doing it justice as I'm going through it. You know, even with the inlaid copper in the seats and the color code, I mean, the white for me would not last very long because I never clean anything, I never look after anything. But for someone that loves Porsches every single day, I'm sure they'll look after the interior. And then there's a beautiful thing just here, which is the one of one, the date it was built and delivered, the signatures of the key people involved. So you have Jack, and you also have Frederick, and Frederick's surname there, who was the main designer on this car with Jack, where they worked together for months and months and months to get this design as perfect as it could possibly be. Now, thank you so much for watching this episode, and I really hope you'll come back for more. And please let us know in the comments what you think of this absolutely stunning Restomod Porsche 911.